What's up, wolves, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to go ahead and get into a page from my book of light. I'm going to read a page and then I'm going to dissect and explain it a bit further for some basic understanding, and just allow really whatever wants to be channeled to me and through me be channeled to me and through me. So if you like this video, if you like my energy, if you resonate with this message, or if you learn something, definitely go ahead and like this video, comment on this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do want to connect with you guys. I do want to hear from you, and I do want to continue to create community. So let's get started. Enemies. When a person upsets you, it is natural to think badly of him. You start to think that he could have done things differently. He could have reacted more calmly. All these thoughts are part of the judgment process. You wanted this person to say or do things your way. You wanted him to convince you. You wanted him to make you feel comfortable. However, the universe does not work this way. The magnet that lies within your heart, that powerful energetic sensor that attracts what is destined for you in so many different ways, will naturally attract the person or thing that will go on to help you experience the emotions you need to face. But I am sure that you already know this. What you may not know is that the main emotion that crops up in all situations you attract is the same emotion you experienced in other lifetimes and throughout your childhood. What do I mean by this? That the person or situation you are facing at this moment holds the key to your innermost secret. He or it holds the key to your karma. If you accept that this person or situation is part of your life, you attracted him or it so that you could release this emotion and that this is your top priority. If you accept that this person is here to help you with this, that he is there to help you release your density regardless of the outcome, you will realize that this person must be your soul companion, a being you once shared wonderful secrets with up in the clouds before you incarnated. He must be a friend from the soul. If you stop judging him and blaming him for how he has made you feel, if you stop judging him and instead acknowledge that he is here to help you, you will immediately stop focusing on him and what he makes you go through, and start focusing on your heart, which is having difficulty deciding whether to process this huge emotion or block it out forever. When the mind rules the heart, this sort of thing happens often. And if you focus on yourself, on your heart, you will experience enormous pain, the pain that you have been continuously running from. But once the pain has gone, because it always disappears, your life will take on a new dimension. Every time you overcome an emotional blockage in density, you will move toward the light. The next time you look at the person who hurt you, you will know that it was a learning experience. Bless me, thank me. And you will know how to respond. And you will be grateful for the lesson you have learned. Jesus, God, Spirit, the universe. What this message is speaking to, this passage here that is titled Enemies, what I feel like it is translating is that our enemies are our teachers. Our enemies were set to be our enemies when we incarnated here on earth so that we would learn how to return to our light, so that we would learn how to return to ourselves. So for example, let's say that you've been betrayed. I know I have many times. I've been betrayed not because I deserve to be betrayed, because I've needed to come back to myself through the healing and the feeling and the release of that density from the betrayal. Without the betrayal, I would not have the opportunities to come into my light, to come into my own autonomous, unique personhood. In the beginning it mentions, when a person upsets you, it is natural to think badly of him. You start to think that he could have done things differently. He could have reacted more calmly. All these thoughts are part of the judgment process. which is natural, right? The judgment process is natural. It's natural for us to have reactions and responses and even judgments to how people treat us, right? But Spirit is saying here that it's not really about judging the person. It's not really about wishing that they would be different or wishing that they would have done something better or something that would have made your life easier. But rather, it's about recognizing that you attracted this energy, this person, this situation, this circumstance, right? That powerful energetic sensor that attracts what is destined for you in so many different ways, in order to bring up the main emotion that you experienced in other lifetimes and even your childhood. So this could be lack, so you attract experiences that make you feel like you're not enough, make you feel like you're missing something, make you feel like you're lacking, not because you are, but because this is something that you've consistently felt and even felt and experienced in your childhood. That source, God, Spirit, the universe, is giving you opportunity to break out of and into a new light in this lifetime. So, what does Source mean by this? The person or situation you are facing at this moment holds the key to your innermost secret. He or it holds the key to your karma. Now, Earth is a school, so your karma is basically essentially, the cause and effect of your actions and your reactions, the cause and effect of actions and consequences. Every action has a equal or opposite reaction. So your karma is like you're learning what you need to learn in this lifetime, right? So if you feel lack because you've been betrayed, what you need to learn is how to love yourself, right? What you need to learn is how to understand yourself, how to validate yourself, how to come back to wholeness within yourself. So this person came into your life as a key to unlocking your dharma, your karma, to unlocking what it is you need to learn in order to experience your highest potential, the most authentic, potent, divine, right, version of you. If we accept that these situations and people come into our lives, obviously not right at the beginning, right, because we have to work through the feelings and the emotions, but if we can get to if we can get to a point where we can acknowledge that this person, these people, this situation came into our life to help us release density, to help us let go of this lack or this pain or this trauma or this drama or even just this consistent narrative of whatever it may be for you. I'm unlovable, I'm not enough, I can't do this, I'm limited, I'm restricted, right? Because we're not restricted, and that's the key. It's to break us out of this sense of restriction, this sense of lack, this sense of, I heard, confiscation. But if we can realize that these people, these situations, circumstances are here to help us, we will then recognize and be able to have gratitude for the circumstance, for the people, for the situation, because we'll realize, oh, I signed up for this contract before I came to Earth. Oh, that relationship actually catalyzed me into the highest version of myself. Oh, that relationship, those relationships, that betrayal, that hurt, that pain, that person pressurizing me in such a way allowed me to grow and expand past who I thought I could be, or what I thought I had to be, or what I thought I had to feel, and what I thought I had to believe about myself, about the world, about life, about God. And there's gratitude in that, right? Because then it's not just about pain, because we are feeling the pain, we're looking into the pain, we're acknowledging the pain. It then becomes about that spiritual awakening, right? Realizing there is a divine plan, that you didn't meet that person on accident, that didn't happen by mistake. And not to say that you deserved it, especially if it's been abusive, right? Because I've been in situations like that. It's not to say that I deserved it, but it is to say that happening taught me how to stand up for myself, right? It taught me how to be my own person. It taught me how to speak up for myself. It taught me what type of relationship I don't want, what type of relationship I do want, what type of love I deserve, what type of love I don't deserve, what love isn't, what love is, right? And that's part of my karma, And to balance out the karma, I've had to experience those things and then feel and go through the motion in the ocean that is the process of uncovering, divulging, and kind of diving deeper into why did this happen? Where did this come from? When did this start? What is this triggering me back to? What does this feel like? What does this remind me of? And often what you're going to find is that it takes us back to childhood, right? Family dynamics, generational trauma. If you stop judging him and blaming him for how he has made you feel, if you stop judging him and instead acknowledge that he is there to help you, and that's a hard thing, right? Acknowledging, especially right out the gate, that that person or that situation happened to help you. Because if somebody hurts you really painfully, it's not easy to just be like, oh yeah, that was there to help me. Which is why feeling the pain and sitting with it is a big part of the process, right? Because just, trying to snap into a space of gratitude obviously would be spiritual bypassing. It would be emotional bypassing because you haven't literally dealt with it. You're just saying that so you can get over it. It's kind of like the past. A lot of people say, I've let go of the past, but yet they haven't let go of the past because they haven't processed it. They haven't looked at it. They haven't acknowledged it. They just hypothetically, figuratively have let it go, but really they've just suppressed it and repressed it. So this piece, Enemies, in my book of light, invites us to feel our feelings, feel the pain that comes from our enemies, so to speak, feel the pain that comes from being challenged, from being opposed, from being betrayed. And it's in that where we can realize that, past the judgment, past the pain, past the narrative, that situation happened for a divine reason, a divine purpose, even if we don't completely understand or even agree with what the behavior was, right? If the behavior was wrong, the behavior was wrong. If you don't agree with it, you don't agree with it. That's not what this is saying or asking of us. What it's saying is to think bigger, right? Open your mind and open your heart through that. As we feel our feelings, we're able to open our heart and release the pain because the story loses less of a grip. The story is what gives so much emotion. So if we can let go of the story through feeling the emotions, then we can open up our hearts for a fresher, newer, more correct perspective, right? Because in the pain, we make it about us. They did that because of me. I'm not this. I'm not that. It's because of me. They hurt me. It didn't me, right? Victimization, which in some cases we are victimized, and that's valid. But at a point, it's like, okay, we have to be accountable and responsible for ourselves, for the story we choose to tell ourselves. So what story are we choosing to tell? And it's through the release, right, the letting go, that we can then make space for something new. Oh, new realizations. Oh, that wasn't about me. Oh, they're just insecure. Oh, that happened because they're jealous of me and they felt like they had to do that because they're insecure, not because I'm less than, or not because I'm disposable, or because I don't matter, or because I'm irrelevant. No, they actually did that because I'm powerful. They grouped up against me because I'm powerful. They try to sabotage me because I'm powerful, because I am enough, because they do see my light, because I do have a light, because I can achieve, right? And so once we can let go of the story, we can invite in a new story, right? Because there's always a story playing, but it's really about what kind of story are you telling? Are you the victim or the victor? And it's a process, right? It's a process. When the mind rules the heart, this sort of thing often happens, which is, judgment, resistance, which is normal. But if you focus on yourself, on your heart, you will experience enormous pain, the pain that you have continuously been running from. The more we avoid our feelings, the more we avoid our heart, the more we sink into the story. What we resist persists. Just because I resist what happened, just because I resist that narrative, just because I act like it doesn't exist, that doesn't mean it won't exist. That just means it'll silently control everything I'm doing, saying, acting, behaving, my relationships, everything, right? The way I see the world. But if I can dive into the pain and focus on what is really hurting, or simply allow myself to feel it instead of running, your life will take on a new dimension. Space will be opened up for new life, for new reality. Because now you're not in the same dimension you were when that happened, when you experienced that, when you said that, when that experience went down. You're in a new place, you're in a different place, right? And so it leaves space for this realization, like, wait, I'm not in that moment anymore. Wait, I'm not that person anymore. Because it's this idea of like, and I've thought about this for myself too, it's like those situations changed you. You know, that relationship changed you. Those people changed you. After that incident with your enemy, you were changed. You were transformed. So it's that realization, that sinking in, that groundedness in, I am a new person, right? And you can be a new person. Every time you overcome an emotional blockage and density, you will move toward the light, your light. But even source consciousness, your highest potential. The next time you look at the person who hurt you, you will know it was a learning experience. You will see the purpose. You will see the overarching higher bird's eye perspective. It was never about me versus you, right? Because we're one. But it was always about me coming into me and you coming into you. You needed to do that for your growth, and I needed to experience that for my growth. I needed to do that for your growth, and I need to experience that for my growth. Whatever I said, you get it. And you will know how to respond, and you will be grateful for the lesson you have learned. I love this book so much. But for me, I feel like Spirit wants us to know at this time, like we may be working through relational patterns involving enemy archetypes, right? Or me versus you, or opposition, right? To our expansion, to our growth, to who we are. And Spirit is saying here that we're being guided to feel the pain, to let go of the pain so that we can transform the story, so that we can have gratitude for the experience, for the person, and for, you know, what we have overcome and what we can be and what we can have, do, be, say, think from then on. You know, for me, it's like I've been through so many things, and I'm realizing like all of those things happened in order to get me to become the highest version of myself, in order for me to be able to tap into my potential, in order for me to be able to connect with source and tap into source consciousness and source's energy. You know, God met me at a time where I had just been betrayed by my ex-best friend, you know, and so me having God at that time allowed me to not only be carried by God, held by God, directed by God, supported by God, but then it allowed that energy to seep into me as I felt, as I processed, as I moved through it. And that continues to happen. And then it's, oh, that did hurt me. It's not denying the hurt. That wasn't right. It's not saying it was right. But it's acknowledging, like, without that, I would not be me. Without her doing that, without her saying that, without them treating me that way, without them acting like that, even my family, you know, some exes, I would not have been able to become this strong, badass version of me. Because there would have been nothing for me to put it up against. There would have been nothing for me to use to transform and transmute to become. If nobody ever hurts you, how do you know how to stand up for yourself? How do you know how to be your own person? How do you know how to value yourself? How do you know your own value? If nobody tells you you're unlovable or makes you feel that way, how do you know what love is? How do you realize love? How do you realize you are the love? And so it's a very spiritual, alchemical process that ultimately is happening, has happened, will happen for a reason. If you like this video, definitely go ahead, like I said in the beginning, like this video, comment on this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do want to connect with you guys, so definitely let me know how you felt about this message, how you feel about this message, how it resonates with you, and if this aligns with what you're working through at this time as far as, like, you know, moving on, healing, letting go, releasing, growing, and how even we're being invited at this time to really allow ourselves to switch and shift our perspectives on what an enemy is or a hater is. Because realistically, Our haters help us to evolve. Our haters help us to be better. They think they don't, but they do. But it's all about how we use that energy. So how will you use this energy, that energy, your energy? Because you are the light. Bye.